Merry Monday, everybody. We're having a happy Merry Monday, and I know that you are too. Wherever you are all around the world, you are having a happy Merry Monday. We have gotten away from the midst of a Blue Monday. This is Real Talk with Mary Jae, a social outlet for a positive outcome. And I am delighted to have sharing with you today my special guest. He is a motivational speaker. He is a podcaster, a brander. He is an entrepreneur. His name is Kaiwan Gibson, you guys. I want you all to welcome him on the show to Real Talk with Mary Jae from the Bahamas. Welcome, Kaiwan, to the show.
Hey, how you doing, Mary Jae?
What's up, my friend and my brother, Kaiwan Gibson? Thank you so much for being my special guest. I am honored to have you sharing with me on today.
Oh man, Mary Jae I'm delighted to be here today. I'm excited. I feel honored, and we're ready for some real talk up in here.
Yes, yes. So, we're sharing our strong man episode, Kaywan, and I know that you are a strong man, that you're holding things together. You're doing some great things overseas, over there in the Bahamas. Your branding is immaculate. I love your page. I love your content, and I love all that you're doing, holding it together and keeping it flowing for you and your beautiful wife and family. So, thank you again. Will you let the people know all of what you do? And who you are and where you are as well.
Well, my full name is Kaiwan Giovanni Gibson. I like to use the Giovanni, the Italian meaning name for John. And I'm the founder of K1 Inspiration, a brand mentor, life skills global ambassador, an entrepreneur in the Bahamas. I'm just delighted to be able to serve humanity with helping individuals to define, embrace, express, and project their purpose as a brand. Um, Giving them a better opportunity to activate the law of attraction, and not only that, to monetize their service to the world. So, I'm just humbled to be able to serve, especially in these serious times, with so many challenges. And I'm not immune to the challenges. A matter of fact, 2020, was a year that fine tune, redefine. Was a year of transition, was a year of really some got wiped out. So I'm just delighted to be able to come into this season understanding, not only understanding, but having the opportunity to serve humanity. I'm the husband of Charlene Gibson, the father of two wonderful boys, Daniel Gibson and Jamal Gibson. And that wraps it up for me in a nutshell.
Well, you're doing a lot, K1. You're doing a lot. An outstanding job. An outstanding job. As I say, I saw your content. I know you are a brander indeed. Your page is awesome. And just to allow all the opportunities that you have given to so many people around the globe to share on your platform is such a tremendous blessing. And I know that God is indeed blessing you because of all that you pour out. I know you as my friend, you are a giver indeed. So you're always giving away. You're always trying to help the next person, help build them up and esteem them highly. And also to have their mission to be recognized around the globe. So thank you, thank you, thank you for doing such a tremendous job.
Oh man, I'm humbled. I'm humbled. I look at it as this. Really, it's really twofold in a sense because I find that um, I feel more fulfilled helping others,
Right.
and I find that it takes my mind off being concerned about myself and the things I want to accomplish. So it's really like vitamins. It's really like um, a strength to me, having to really try to promote help and just lift up others. So I look at it I look at it as an opportunity in a sense to help me. Now that might sound strange to some persons, but as we begin to, as for persons who are striving like myself, um, striving to do so much in the world, striving to make an impact in the community, in nationally and internationally. Um, I don't have everything lined up. I don't have everything right in place. So I'm believing, I'm building a vision. I'm believing, and as I go, I want to be able to attract um, resources. I want to be able to build my vision, and in doing that, it's just an honor to be able to help others. So it's really twofold.
It's awesome. We always give away that which we want to bless people, and it's just the law of attraction. As you said, what you give away, it comes right back to you. And you've been giving away so much, helping so many people, and it's just doors that's just being opened up for you abroad as well, because you have such a humble heart and a humble spirit. I remember the time that we met some time ago, under Les Brown, when we were sharing with Les Brown, and just your content, even in the class, and promoting and marketing and branding individuals, and helping, even coaching people that were not your actual client, but just giving away free information, free content to help brand them, and just to make their content look a whole lot better. So you've been doing it, such a humble spirit, just blessing people. So that's why you're so blessed as well. That is definitely why you're so blessed.
Oh man, you trying to cause me blush? They say black men don't blush.
Oh yes, 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 yes.
Well,
But
let me reword that. Our blush shows a different way.
yeah, yeah, it does. It shows through our teeth, not our cheeks, our teeth. Yeah. Okay, well, listen, this is a strong man episode. And I've been having strong men all month long, and I could not close out this month. Being Father's Day just passed, you're a tremendous father, impacting and encouraging, and just being a role model and example to your boys. I could not close out the strong man episode without having you to share on Real Talk Mary Jae. And so every strong man, I say, come from a strong place, come from strong roots. No matter what you go through in life, we use our experiences in life to shape us and to fashion us and to cultivate the person who we are today. And I'm sure the person that you are today have come from some strong places, have been through some tough times and some tough challenges. So I want you to share with the audience all around the world your story. How was it as a child in your upbringing? How was the connection with you and your father? Did it impact your life, and how so? So let's take a journey down Kaiwan Giovanni. What is it? What's the middle name? Giovanni.
Giovanni.
Giovanni Gibson story. Let's take a journey from your background, Kaiwan.
Um, this is. I'm so used to interviewing persons
I
that
know.
I'm here sitting, I'm here sitting in this seat, and I'm like, wow, wow. um, well, you're absolutely correct because um, our background and sometimes we're so as individuals we're so ashamed of the journey and the struggles, the
Mhm.
striving, and I came from a family that um, really understood the importance of um, holding things together. I had a mom who was really, at that time, my dad was what I would call those back in the day dads, um, doing his thing in a sense. So mom was one in the family that uh, really, in a sense, was the glue as dad did his thing. But what is so ironic is um, my mom got sick, and I really saw a different side of my dad because he had his challenges, and but he was there for my mom, and I remember him having to take care of her. I remember him being at her side and was always there. So even though dad early in my life um, wasn't there all the time, and he had his, I want to use it in the right term. He was out doing his thing, um, because in those days that was like in a way regular. Um, the guy, the men, in a sense, uh, doing what they want to do, and the women holding
Right.
things down, at home. But when my mom got sick with lupus, and she was confined to home, and just to watch him nurture her,
Wow.
and and you know be there to take care of her, I saw a different side of my dad. Um, and we don't like to admit certain things, but sometimes when one of our siblings, especially the father, is not holding things down or is not there for the family, um, it affects us.
Right.
So, um, and I was affected by that. But the transition of life, just watching him, to nurture my mom, and my mom ended up passing away, and I got to see a, I got to see him in a whole different light, and even in his journey of um, remarrying, and his journey of, no, let me back up, his journey of spiritual growth and um, changes, his journey of remarrying, and his journey of just being an example of um, not only how to weather the stages of life, but how to adjust and realign. So for me, that was really seeing that strong man. And prior to that, my granddaddies, I had a strong granddaddy who was a very successful, you're going to like this one, liquor merchant. And then I had a granddaddy who was a very successful reverend doctor or pastor. Um, so, God fixed it in a way where I had those pillars in my life. But really, watching the transition of my dad was really an awesome experience. And even now, to this day, seeing him still focus on making some things happen for the next generation. And um, that's a blessing to me.
Yeah, that is a blessing. And I know, most of us, I know I'm going to speak from my own experience. I shouldn't say most of us, but I know even with myself coming up as a young girl, I had my dad that was present in the home, but not present emotionally. He was not present um, when it came to taking care of the house. But as you said, like my mom kept things together. My mom held it down and made sure that everything was in order. And it's so amazing to watch the transformation over the years. How something in our early years will affect us in such a way, and then watch us evolve in it and watch us go from one level to the next to the next. So you had an opportunity to watch your dad transform into this caregiver a nurturing, caring father that was really taking care of things at home and taking care of your mom, that should have been quite humbling for you to see. I'm sure it was. And I'm sure it impacted your life in such a way to help you even become the great dad that you are and the great father and husband, that you are to your family as well, to keep that band secure around your house. I always say that in every situation, we are a product of our environment. Not not so much when people hear that they think of a negativity like I am not, where I come from. And that's not what I mean. I mean that the experiences in our lives have shaped us in such a way to create us to be the very person that we are, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So if I came from situations I believe that um, by some means that perhaps I thought were weakened in some points, that made me even a stronger person, a stronger woman. And I've seen fathers, and I have really good friends too, that may not have the best upbringing in their household, but they're like some awesome, outstanding fathers. And the thing that they tell me is, Mary Jae, because I didn't want to do to my children, or I didn't want to leave my kids, or I didn't want my kids to feel that void that I felt as a child. And I can even speak from my standpoint of being married at 16 years old and having a baby at 17. And I didn't even understand it at that time, Kaiwan, but I realized that I wanted a baby because there was a void in me. I had a void in me at the time, and I always wanted to have a child where I can grow up with my child, teach my child some things, and be with my child, because I had a working mom and she was always working. And out of a family of 8, I missed that in between one-on-one time with my mom. And I think that's why I longed for my own, to have a baby of my own, to spend that quality time with. So, Kay, when I know your story evolving from one journey to the next, watching your mom, as strong as she is, to keep everything flowing and going, watching your dad come into the family union and nurture your mom and care for her while she was ill. I know that had to be a tremendous impact in your life that helped you become the man that you are today.
Yeah, I think we're having some little tech issues.
Okay,
Okay,
can
I can hear
you
you.
can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now, and loud and clear.
Okay. So from your dad nurturing your mom, bring your mom for her last days, making life very comfortable for her, and just experiencing that as a young man, the impact that had on your life that has thrust you forward. So take us from that point now to the Kaiwan Gibson that we know today, that is helping people around the globe, the branding, all of it.
Well, from that, well, I was known as what they call I don't know if you all have the same term. I was known as the black sheep in the family.
Yes,
Are you
I
familiar?
was the black sheep as well.
Yeah, and ironically, I'm the dark
Turned
one.
out pretty good though. Huh?
I'm the, and ironically, I'm the darkest one in the family, complexion wise.
But listen,
Um,
black sheep
yeah,
turned out pretty good.
well, I can't take no credit for it. All I can say is it's good genes, and God favored me. Um,
Black
so
sheep with the blood of Jesus.
yes, so having I would say grow up on a rebellious path, and really, um, I did so many things that I believe at this time was um, motivated out of trying to find fulfillment, trying to fill those voids. back then marijuana, smoking marijuana, getting involved with um, drugs. When I talk about drugs, I'm talking about sales of drugs in the drug world, and living a promiscuous life. And I reached to a point where, I did so many things that was so called supposed to be happiness.
Right.
Uh, and I remember getting to the point where um, I smoked so much until I knew no longer would get high. Um, and I was always a entrepreneur at that time. I had my liquor store, self-employed, and I just reached a point where it was, life seemed meaningless. Like, what people, the parties didn't mean anything, the smoking didn't mean anything. The frolicking was just, it was nearly like you like a robot. You're just doing it because this is what you do. And
Mhm.
um, I realized that, man, I need help. I need, got to be more than that. And in doing that, um, I, it's funny how I really always had a desire to be positive. Um, and it's through that I eventually um, was attracted to, because at that time, smoking and, I allow my hair to just grow freely. And from that point, I end up with locks. And next thing uh, I was labeled as what they known as a Rastafarian, Rasta. And it's amazing how you can take on images. And so I began to more or less, what I would say, operate from that place. But what was really strange is um, I would hear people say, Selassie is God, and it didn't sit well with me. So, God have a sense of humor. I began to research on Selassie. I began to read the Bible more, and it's through reading the Bible I realized. Sorry, it's through, yes, reading the Bible, doing my research, and I'll never forget this speech I read that Selassie I wrote. He said, "Who can resist an invitation? Come ye all that labor and heavily laden, and I will give you rest."
Yes.
And nowhere he confessed that he was a god. Um, but that speech he wrote direct me straight to Jesus, because he was quoting the Bible. And he said, "Who can resist an invitation?" Because really that's what Jesus is doing. He said, "Come ye all that labor and heavily laden, I'll give you rest."
Right.
And it's from that speech I really sent me on a, in that time, and I don't want to, in that season of reading the Bible, understanding, that just took me in a trajectory of reading more of the Bible. And it's through that I began to have a relationship, and committed my life to Christ. And uh, just cut my hair because, now don't get me wrong, I don't believe that hair is a symbol of sin, or hair is a symbol of, or no hair is a symbol of lack of sin. I just did it because I wanted persons to know that, hey, I made a change.
Right.
And and from that, gave my heart to the Lord. Um, got involved with church, starting serving church from the ushers. I remember nights outside in the parking lot, and from there. um, just pursuing God, just building the house of God and serving. That took me into
Kayvin,
um,
before we get into that, let's pause for a moment so our listening audience can really capture all of this. So you went from being the black sheep, being out there in the drug world, using drugs, getting high until you couldn't get high anymore. You didn't even feel the effects of it. And so going from there, growing your hair out in locks, being labelized as a Rastafari, and at what point, what was the turning point in that moment that caused you to want more? Before you got to the place where you heard the scripture or you begin to seek the word for yourself, what was the defining moment at that period that you just felt like this is enough? I need to do something, or I whatever it was that you needed to break free. What was the defining moment that led you to that place? Before you begin to seek the word, before you begin to read the scriptures to find God in the word, what led you there?
um, what I used to do didn't bring me any satisfaction, uh, no pleasure, no. Smoking the marijuana was like, like I said, I never used to get high anymore. I was just empty. I was just going through the motions and not feeling fulfilled. Um, and it's in doing that I reach out and I realized I needed help, and I asked God for that help, and He always sends someone. I remember he's passed away now. Romaine, he was born again, but he was the kind of guy who could relate and come on any turf
Mm-hmm.
and just talk about Jesus without being religious. Um, and God used him in that time to be a strength to me, to be a direction to me, to say, hey, um, you could do this. And I would share my inner thoughts and feelings with him. Um, and him ministering to me and him being an example, um, that was a very important stage in my life. And he was able to, I was able to lean on God, but I was also able to have somebody I could relate to that already walked the journey, which I believe is important. It's so many things. Trust me, you got to bring me on 3 hours, and we got to dissect the story bit by bit. So I'm just looking at the time. I'm just looking at the time, and I'm trying to just put it all in a what they call a bundle package for you. This is strong on my heart. I believe I believe for a lot of us, it's like we're in a tunnel,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a dark tunnel, but the tunnel has holes in it with light coming in. So I believe we're walking through this tunnel, and we have a certain level of light knowledge that is impacting us. But as we begin to walk more into the tunnel, the holes that the lights are coming in become bigger because we're walking closer to knowledge. We're walking closer to the light,
Right.
and the full light is at the end of the tunnel, and that's where like we're on a journey. And as we continue to seek knowledge, as we continue to move forward, we're exposed to more light. And when we receive that light, we now move into another realm, another place. Um, so I just feel that that was part of my journey because if I never read Selassie's speech, um, and we know that he was one of the first to, he introduced the Bible to Ethiopia. Um, so he did his share of exposing light to the world. Now, I didn't say he did everything according to what we might say as a righteous man, or I'm not here to get into that, but the level of light he introduced to the world, just like me and you, is able to help others on their journey to this great light. Oh, I mean, I kind of clarify that.
Yeah. So you said your grandfather was a pastor, right?
Yes.
So you were already exposed to Christianity. I'm assuming that you were aware of it. Did you get
Not,
saved after you came out, or explain that to me?
no, I wouldn't say I was, or I was so blind to it because I went to a so-called Christian school, and let me tell you something. That mass, I think on Thursday, I used to hate have to go in because is hate a strong word? Because I couldn't handle the incense.
Come on, Karen.
It was they used to do the incense, and I don't know if I'm just to this day, I don't know if I'm allergic to it or it does something to me. I just feel like I'm suffocating. Um, so not until later down in life I realized, you know what? You went to a Christian school. So I was exposed to the teachings and etc. And that's the power of that's the power of the seed and person sowing seed and so forth. So
Right.
my conversion really took place on a personal journey where I experienced the Holy Spirit personally in my bedroom, and then I went to church. Um, so a lot of people church experience have their experience in church first, and then they have their personal experience. But I had my personal experience prior to church. And then I was really introduced in a sense. Don't get me wrong, my family were churchgoers, um, um, and I understand that. But my journey was one very peculiar.
Okay, so you had the church rooted in your family through your grandfather being a pastor, and you went to Christian school, but you were so far out there in the world that you were not even hearing that, right? You were not even getting the whole church thing, but you got to a place where you got so tired, like I say, sick and tired of being tired, and you wanted to get some relief, some help, and you found it through an experience that brought you to a place where you encountered a personal experience with the Lord at your home. Wow. And then it led you back to the word of God to where you are. So now, how and when, at what point, because I'm going to go back to you cutting your hair, but how and where, at what point did you receive your call from God to preach the gospel, preacher?
Well, I served from the door to the pulpit, they would say, and having been ordained as you know, coming up in my era, we just wanted to help others. We just wanted to get the gospel out. Um, and in doing that, and now that I look back on it, we just wanted to make a impact. The thing about it is, I think we were doing it in such a way that we were just doing it. It wasn't like, hey, um, we want to reach so much people over so much time, so therefore we're gonna strategically hit here, hit there, do this and do that and do that. Yes, there was some level of planning, but I think it was so organic that we just wanted to make an impact, and of course, being connected to a church, um, and growing and serving comes along with it. And in doing that, I was ordained I serve as usher, usher head, minister, um, then associate pastor, then ordained as a pastor, um, where I eventually served for 20 years.
20 years. Wow. 20 years of impacting lives, praying for others, from a deacon, from an usher, all the way to associate pastor and dean, coming from Rastafari. You know, that had to be Jesus. Because, you know, we talk about our past, and I love to hear the story of a person's past that brought them to the present. Because in many times people see you where you are today and just think that you just arrived there. But no one would have ever thought, I couldn't even imagine or see you with dreadlocks in the liquor store and drugs. I just can't even see that. But you know, that's just like God when He cleans us up. He leaves absolutely no residue, just the oil, just the anointing is on you. That's all I see. Even behind the dark glasses, that's all I see is the oil of God still resting on you, man. So you talked about the cutting away of your locks, right? It was a transformation period for you, you know, because I can attest to that because years ago I had really, really long hair. And I went through some devastating periods in my life, and I just had a turning point. And I cut my hair, shaved the back. I mean, I went to the hairstylist and I told her to cut it all off. And her eyes got big because my hair was so long. She was like, "You want to cut all your hair off?" I was like, "All of it. I want this real short, tapered hairstyle." So she cut my hair about shoulder length, and I was not happy. So she had styled it and finished it. I told her, "This is not what I asked for. I told you I want it all cut. I want it off." And she was like, really like hesitant, and she said, "I should have given you what you wanted because you knew what you wanted when you came." So she cut my hair, shaved the back of my head. I had this really choppy short style tapered haircut, and my mom and my dad just could not believe it. They were upset. You know, because I come from a traditional family, um, that really believes and stands strong on a woman's hair being her glory. And they were like, "Why did you do that?" You know, but you know, it was hard for me to explain to people. That's why I know where you were with that. I just knew within me it was a symbol of cutting the way of the old and letting go of all of the other things that I felt held me bound at the time, and I felt like liberated and set free. It was one of those with ladies, you know, the Stella got her groove back sort of thing. You know, I had just come out of a divorce and all, cut all my hair, shaved it, and loved the freedom, loved the liberation. So it was symbolic for me to be set free. So when you cut your locks, what was that like for you?
Well, one, I believe it had to do a lot with one, I wanted to show the company I was keeping that, hey, I got rid of the thing that you all value, but it was not
That's
so much
good.
about, it's not so good, um, it's not so much about them, but I still wanted to really, you know, in a sense, sacrifice something that means so lot. that meant a lot to me, but I realized it was important to let, because when I walked away from my bar and closed my bar down, it was important to let them know that, hey, I'm on a different journey now. Um, if you want to join me, if you want to connect with me, it's so amazing. Um, you can be connected to a group of people. It doesn't have to do with the world. It could be, I've seen it, whether it's faith based, whether it's cult based, whether whatever, occult, whatever it is. But when you make a change, um, it's amazing. That's when you really see what's in people.
Right.
So, if you really accept me for me, then you'll accept me for um, my changes, because at the end of the day, I'm trying to do something that's better for me. Um, and we we sometimes we feed people um, by always being there for them in a sense. But
Mm-hmm.
when it's time to make a decision for you, um, a lot of times persons like, how this is going to benefit me, um, not realizing that it's not about them in the moment. So that was a time for me to sacrifice something that it grew for so long. And it was also a time to send the signal that, hey, I'm on a different path. Um, because what meant a lot to me, I'm giving it up. Um, Even though I know I didn't have to, because the hair didn't determine the heart. And I know that. So you take me back far, Mary.
Right. Right. I know. Sometimes it be so far back that getting back to that place is kind of difficult just to go back and see it again, especially when you've been out of it for so long.
And by the way, I sat down on my clear glasses, so they broke. So that is why I'm using these glasses today, um, because I know the importance of to me. I know I like to have that eye contact. So that is why I'm wearing these ones today. I'll have to
Uh,
get another I'll have to get another clear pair.
that's okay. That is all right. I thought maybe that was that. I keep going back to your middle name, because it kind of
Gio-
reminds
Giovanni.
me of Giovanni. Thought maybe that was your
um,
Giovanni look.
well, what is Giovanni means John, which is God is gracious.
Wow, that's beautiful. Yeah. And he
So
definitely was gracious with you, taking you through all of that, bringing you to where you are. And like I said, no residue, none at all. There's no
we
residue there.
we we're gonna probably have to have a part two based on the time, and based on where we are in the story, uh, because we just somewhere in the middle, to where I've got to this point, um, with building an international platform, um, hoping to not only hoping but being able to empower and connect with individuals around the world. So um, we're in the middle of the story in a sense.
Well, we're in the middle of it, but you can thrush us forward. We have about 5 more minutes. So
Yes, I let's see what we can do in this 5 minutes. So in doing that, after serving on in that capacity for approximately 20 years, I had a desire to um, want to really move away from operating in that capacity. And in doing that, um, I birthed the K1 Inspiration International, and where I began to think from a different place as regards to uh, nationally, because I'm from the Bahamas with 400,000 persons, and to be able to want to make an impact on the in the global world, that's really like going against the grain. I mean, um, so I just, I would say, had another epiphany, and just looking at dealing with limited beliefs
Mm-hmm.
and just trying to think from a different place. And in doing that, um, I began to release inspiration, um, information, and in evolving on the platform, uh, being able to connect with persons like yourself around the world, and being able to start my um, services, helping individuals to brand their purpose, and just moving into creating my off the cuff, no fluff.
No love, right?
Yeah, and that one of the reasons that one of the motivation or the inspiration behind that is um, just wanting to be able to present information to individuals that I felt is authentic, and being able to connect with individuals that I feel is authentic. So that's how the evolution came about, and um, I'm still on the move. I'm far from where I want to be. A matter of fact, July, um, the mindset I'm going to be operating from is I've only just begun.
You've only just begun, and you've begun a great deal already with um, off the cuff, no fluff, Kaiwan Giovanni Gibson, on the move, the brander, the designer, the podcaster, the life skills coach that's making it happen. To say you're out there, you're doing it. Just orchestrating the content that you have in such a way that is so creative and so appealing that when anybody visits your page, they can clearly see that it's quality content that you have throughout your entire platform. So those of our listening audience that are watching, okay, when I want you to let them know that how they can get in touch with you, maybe they can set up a consultation with you. How do they reach out to you to view your content and to become a part of K1 Inspiration branding? Because you have some outstanding content on your site.
Thank you, Mary Jae. And like I said, I've only just begun. Thank you for the compliments, encouraging, man. Listen here, appreciate it. Um, they can reach me on Facebook, DM me easy, K1 Gibson, uh, or K1 Gibson at gmail.com is easier too. So I'm there to serve. You can book your free consultation, and let's help you define, embrace, express, and project your purpose as a brand so you can monetize. Because at the end of the day, we want to be able to take what we have, present it to the world, and by extension, we want the world to be able to um, reciprocate, whether it's by um, paying for the service. That way we are able to build and help the masses. So I'm ready, open to connect. Let's do it so we can make this global impact, because there is 7.8 billion people in the world, and you don't need to reach all of them. You just need to reach your audience who's going to appreciate you for who you are.
Awesome. Outstanding, Kaiwan. You guys, you've connected with Real Talk Mary Jae. You heard it on today from a strong man. We're dealing with the strong man episode, and we have Kaiwan Gibson sharing with us on today. He's definitely a strong man. You heard his powerful and strong story. No one would have ever known, Kaiwan, that you had that type of experience that brought you to where you are today, that helped and shape and mold you to be the strong man that you are, and to just be innovative in reaching people globally. Even though you said you've only just begun, you began. You see what I'm saying? You've begun, and you have such a tremendous impact, because there's some people that have begun for a very long time. And I'm telling you what I know, and I'm not just saying it because it's you, but I'm a brander, and I've seen people that brand as well that has been doing it for quite some time. But for you to just begin, you're doing it powerfully. You have come so far already with just starting out. So if you just began, wow, I can't wait to see, what you have yet in store. So you're doing an awesome job, Kaiwan. You all go follow Kaiwan Gibson, my brother, and all the way from the islands, all the way from Bahamas, that is making it happen over there on our, I call it the foreign soil, that in the Caribbean, that is making it happen big for you guys. So if you want your content branded, if you want to have a really good format your platform, he'll show you how to market, how to brand, and how to present your content in such a tremendous way. Thank you so much, Kaiwan, for coming on the show with me today. I had a happy Merry Monday. I know we need a few more hours, like you said. I really enjoyed this conversation with you, my brother and my friend. Did you have a happy Merry Monday today?
Sure. Hey, and we can, when you're ready, we could do a segment was called So Nice We Had to Do It Twice. Because I've had persons that I had to, hey, we got to do a part two. Yes, I appreciated Mary Jae, and like I said, you took me back. I'm sitting in. I'm so you. I've been doing so many interviews that you have me here, and I'm just saying, wow, I got to go back. I got to go. Oh man, I got to go back. So I really enjoy it, and not only that, I appreciate what you're doing with the level of authenticity, and we got to have you on off the cuff, no fluff.
I'm ready anytime. Anytime.
I know you're ready, so we're gonna make that happen. And I just want to encourage you and the audience, continue to build you, continue to be you, and continue to build others.
That's right. You heard it, you guys. You heard it from Kaiwan Gibson on today. Happy Merry Monday, Kaiwan.
Happy Merry Monday to you, until we meet again.
Yes, yes. Happy Merry Monday, everybody.